you. The CDC says 16 to 19-year-olds are 3 times more likely to be involved in a deadly crash compared to other drivers. For parents, seeing their teenagers get their permit and driver's license can be overwhelming. There are ways to keep them safe behind the wheel. So joining us with more insight is Maria Wojcik. She is the owner of DrivingMBA, a locally owned and operated driving school. How did you get into this business, Maria?
It was 21 years ago, and we saw that there was a need, so we started to fill it with a very unique way of doing driver training.
So tell me about your driver training program.
So we use simulation technology. So we have a driving fundamentals lab where a student will start and learn how to drive there first, build skill before we actually take them out on those crazy roadways.
And you said crazy roadways. They kind of are, especially as we get into the holiday season.
Right.
I loudly say, please slow down and be careful out there. Are there certain challenges on our roads that are different than maybe other states, other cities?
You know, Arizona's got a pretty bad rap. We're #1 in red light running. We've got more road rage than most cities. We have, it's just everything that you can think about. We were also identified as some of the least skilled in the nation. So those are all the things that you know, all of you that have been driving out there, you know what your kids are going to be facing.
Yeah, no doubt. So it can be a scary, scary thing to release them into the world of driving.
Absolutely.
Tell me about some things that we should be doing, and one of which is leading by example.
Yes, and it's not just about being off your phone, but be off the phone, be off the Bluetooth. You know, are you speeding? Are you following the rules? Is what you're doing behind the wheel what you would want your student to emulate, your child to emulate? And that's easier said than done. We've built habits over the years.
I think some of it may be just setting the tone as far as, is this a scary thing? Is this a not scary thing? And you have control. How do you handle that mental challenge of driving? You
know, there's kids that are really scared and trepidatious about this whole idea, and they'll think that this is no big deal. So it's really about helping them understand this is a very, very big responsibility that they need to take seriously, and that they need to learn, and they need to be ready to be on those roadways. They don't need to be, it's not necessarily about, it's not about eligibility. It's about being ready and being competent out there before they become solo licensed drivers.
So there are some monitoring apps out there.
Yes.
Can you tell me about that?
Yeah, there's several of them, and so once your student, or even if your student's going to be a passenger in another car, we've heard some stories from parents, and so you know, they don't love it. The teenagers don't love the idea, but there are apps that you can put on their phones, and so you'll know how fast they're going. You know where they are. You know if they're making hard brakes or hard turns. So you can monitor those kinds of things as a parent.
So your instructors are probably some of the bravest people out there. Getting in the passenger seat with first-time drivers, what advice can you give a parent who is sitting in that passenger seat for the first time?
Take it slow. And follow your students' behavior. Don't put a timeline on this. Just make sure that and I would really recommend that they look for some professional help as well, because we all think we can teach someone how to drive. Teaching someone how to drive is pretty difficult. You know, it's a 15, 16, 17-year-old, 18-year-old. Their brains are still developing. The rules have changed. So you really want to make sure that they're very, very well prepared to be out there.
Yeah, that simulator probably makes a great transition into the real world.
And then we have a defensive driving simulator where we can put them in situations like red light runners or head-on collision avoidance, which we've had problems with here in this state. So those kinds of things.
It is called DrivingMBA. Thank you so much for sharing your